Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Jack and Glenn channel. Before we get started, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification if you're new to the channel. Hey, we talk about Married at First Sight. We talk about Ready to Love tonight. We're talking about Ready to Love, so make sure you hit that subscribe button and bell notification. I believe this is the third episode of this season of Ready to Love because we had the first episode, we met the first 10 people, 9 minus Glenn. Not me, of course. Then we met the other 10 last week. So this is the third episode of Ready to Love, Dallas Fort Worth. This episode starts out with the second cast waiting for the first. All right, first cast to be introduced. We see Chaz trying to hit on Lynn. She's a beautiful young lady. They seem like they had conversation before. Look like they had some good conversation before. If you listen to what they were talking about, they had spent some time together. And Chaz is still working. He's working the room. He's working the room before the other 9 people come in. Chaz is definitely working the room. We see. They talking about the good time they had at the mixer. Chaz was also excited to see Alexis when she came into the room from the other group. When the other group comes in the room, Tommy brings them in and says, "Look, I was going to bring 10 of you guys, 9 of you guys, but guess what? One of the guys didn't show up, and Glenn was not there. Right? He never showed up, and never contacted Glenn, and is what it is. So bring the people in, bring the new cast members in. First time they're meeting, it seemed like some was impressed, some wasn't impressed. Some liked what they saw, some didn't like what they saw. But nonetheless, the men, as I mentioned earlier, Chaz was excited to see Alexis. He thought she was beautiful and cute at the time. The men, Tommy lets let the men know they are in charge for this week. Now, I know some of y'all saying, hold on, why are the men in charge again? Were the men just in charge last week? And they sent girl Patricia home, but now they're in charge this week? Because I know some of y'all looking like, hold up for a minute. Lamar should be going home. Well, guess what? He won't be going home this week. You got to wait maybe until next week to see if he goes home. But nonetheless, the men are in charge. We see April, right? April introduced herself to Lamar, and Lamar went in for a kiss already, kiss on the cheek, and he was like, "Hold on for April, like hold on for me, partner. You don't know me. Hold up, wait a minute." That ain't right. You don't know me, all right? In other words, she's like, hey, what you doing, man? It's a little peck on the cheek, but guess what? You don't know this lady. You met this lady just a little while, and you're going for a kiss already. This ain't no Southern hospitality, and you ain't got that Southern charm. So guess what? Stop kissing people that don't want to be kissed. All right, so Lamar started off doing a little too much already. We see Mika. Mika tells Lamar that she doesn't want any kids. Lamar said he wants some kids, and he said, guess what? You're not for me. Now, I appreciate Lamar here for doing that. I appreciate the fact that Mika was honest too. Look, I don't want any kids. Lamar said he wants some kids. Hey, guess what? This ain't gonna work out. So let's not even fool ourselves. Let's go our separate ways. So feelings won't get hurt, and I won't hurt anybody's feelings. So we see those who go that way, they move on. We also see Maya and William. That's William the comedian, not William the little Will, but William the comedian. Talking about their family. William shares that he was adopted. He shares that he has 3 boys. He shares a little bit about his life, and guess what? Maya is entertaining him. Maya likes the conversation, likes what she hears, and she's very appreciative to the fact that William was honest. What's going on in his family and what's going on in his life. I like William, man. William has been the conversation didn't go about anything else about what was going on, right? William has been a fresh air. He didn't need the sex. Some other guys, William wasn't joking. William was just being open and honest and being vulnerable in this situation with Maya. And my hat's off to William. Then we see Koshia, who sits down with LaRon. Koshia and LaRon are together. LaRon tells Koshia that he went to bat for her, right? For him, and if she don't have kids, he went to bat for him. If she didn't have kids, right? If she didn't have kids, she will be face down and butt up for him. I don't know what's going on. This just bad. She would be face down and butt up for him, but nonetheless, she loves some LaRon, right? Maybe because LaRon the only person that loves some Koshia. But anyway, they love each other. And if she didn't have kids, she'd be face down and butt up just for him. All right, we see April, Mika, and Jonathan sitting at the table, right? He shared that he has not dated anyone since he's been separated from his ex-wife or the mother of his sons, right? He said he has not dated anyone since then. And then we see Mika goes in and asks him, well, How does that feel? Do you feel like your ex-wife is have feelings? Did you ever go back around that barn? Did you ever try to circle back and check her out? Did you ever try to sneak back into the house, or did you try to? And he said, nah, not really, but I feel like my wife was trying to do that way. Then the question goes, did he ever have sex with her since they've been separated? And it was like, yes, but it was like 2 years ago. But she kept revisiting the question, trying to see which way she was going to go. Jonathan got irritated and did not like the way the question was flowing. April was also there. It seemed like it was interrogating my man, right? I mean, it is good to understand where he came from. And it's a good question to ask. Hey, you've been divorced 2.5 years. Do you still like your spouse? Do y'all get along? I mean, your ex-spouse. Do y'all get along? Is she still attracted to you? Well, yes. Do you think she would ever try to revisit you? If we got into a relationship, would she be an issue? Would she be a problem? Will it be a situation where I'm looking for you and we don't know it yet? Remember that? Remember who was that from? I think it was Put a Ring on It. My man Ricky. Ricky from Put a Ring on It would go and sleep on his ex-wife's couch. Yeah. So some people don't want to have those problems, right? So I'm not mad at the question, but I think sometimes you just got after questions asked, let it go and move on, right? I see. April talks about how we see April and Lamar who have the conversation. April starts off the conversation with her degrees, her intellect, her title. Now we know, God, let's not be double sided here. If a man did that, it would be wrong, right? If a man started off all his accolades and his attributes. I'm Dr. So and so, have a PhD. I teach at this university. I do all that. You would be calling that dude a fool. There's no way in the world that April, right, the woman as she's talking to Lamar, you don't lead off with your credential. Hey, because the credentials are not who you are, right? The credentials are not who you. Hey, I'm April, right? My name is April, and this is what I do. That's how you deal with it. Or just, I'm April, and let the conversation flow in a great manner. They got a little heated back and forth, and guess what? Lamar was like, you know what? Dismiss. Get away from here. Don't mess with me. In this situation, that's not defined right or wrong. But if we had to define right or wrong, April was kind of wrong in this situation with the way that she approached Lamar. I gave him some attitude even after the fact, right? Why this thing was going on. He was like, look, and he just went back and forth. Some people just ain't the ones to be having conversations. April and Lamar are not, it's two peas in a pod. They don't like each other. We'll talk about them two a little bit later because as we get towards the end, April and Lamar have another encounter, right? We see Alonzo. Alonzo set up for a double date sets up a double date with John, Garcia, and Alexis. They go bowling, right? And I like the fact these women are competitive, right? I like the fact that a woman who is competitive, who's not trying to be dainty, they're like, yo, we're getting ready to go bowling. We're going to whoop your butt. And guess what? If you lose, you're going to have to do the chicken dance, right? So we see Koshia and Alexis. They actually end up winning, right? End up winning the bowling tournament, the bowling game. And there, Alonzo and Jonathan had to do a little chicken dance. The competitiveness of this woman, it was like, hey, what it is. Alexis said, if there was a grape contest, I'll be the one sitting there trying to eat the last grape because that's what I do. I'm trying to be the one to win. There's nothing wrong with that. All right, at all. Um, Jonathan and Kashia have a conversation. They're talking about love language. They're asking each other. They talk about love language, and Jonathan asked her what's her love language, and she mentioned that her love language is quality time, but could not express how she wants to spend quality time. Tommy told the men that this is the episode or their responsibility to find out about quality time and how they would like to spend quality time. Because she didn't had a clue. Girl, if you couldn't say, I like to watch TV, I just want you to be there. I don't want to do anything else. I want to just lay on the couch. I want to do a Netflix and chill. She could have said anything, but it was like crickets. And as if the question he asked her was how to solve world peace. She got saved a little bit because Alonzo came and Alonzo wanted to have a conversation. Alonzo wanted to have a conversation with Koshia, and that conversation didn't go any better because as they were sitting down and having a conversation, you let me find my notes. I got mixed up here. All right. Now Alonzo saved Jonathan. I saved Koshia. Him and Koshia has a conversation. They sat down and began to talk. Jonathan asked Koshia about her communication skills. She said she's a big she's big on communication. And she says, look, I'm on communication with a purpose. I like communication. I love to have people who could talk, right? I want communication. Let's talk. Let's have a conversation. It is very important that we talk about things. Alonzo says he brings out some stuff from out of left field, right? Um, Alonzo talking about, hey, asked her a question about being pregnant because she just mentioned, like, hold up, this, where is this coming from? Like, dude, just he trying to be funny. This ain't a serious time to be funny. She's like, we're having conversation, right? She said, not only I don't want just conversation to have conversation, but I want conversation to lead to comprehension. I want you to, when I'm talking, I want you to, can you read the words that are coming out of my mouth, basically? Do you understand what I'm saying? Can you understand what I'm putting down? Can you understand what I'm picking up? Can you understand everything that I'm saying to you? So that's what she's trying to say to him. She wants him to understand that, hey, this is where we're going. This is what we're doing. And I need you to understand what's the words that are coming out of my mouth. Coach here mentioned that she is she's a spoiled brat, right? She's the baby child. She's spoiled, and she wants things kind of her way. She wants to be intentional, but she wants things her way. She wants things to go her way. She wants to be in charge. She wants things to move in the way that she needs them to move, and nobody else. Alonzo said something before they went to commercial break. I don't know if she heard it or she went on about it, or this was editing. He told her, "Hey, I'm tired of you already." I like, dang, the men in this season are rude. The men in this season are cutthroat. There's no men anymore who treat women with dignity or respect. And I understand, even if a woman get out of the gate, there's a certain way that you handle her, right? There's a certain way that you deal with her. But these guys, some of these guys are giving women the same energy, they're giving that energy right back. Hey, each his own, each his own, each its own. Then we see William, the comedian William, invite Lamar, Vanessa, and Patricia out. Right? Vanessa tells William that she's painted. The last time that she was painting through the big snowstorm that hit Houston, and she did it with her and her sons. She has two boys, 1, 6, and 5. Even when me and my wife were watching it, my wife like, man, that's a big gap, right? That's a big gap. You got a 16-year-old son and you got a 5-year-old son. I think I said 6 and 5. I didn't mean 6 and 5, 16 and 5, and that is a big gap. And she says and William also shares with her that he has 3 boys, right? He has 3 boys that he's been raising. April goes on a date with Jonathan. Again, the interrogation continues to begin. The interrogation continues. No, I'm back here. Sorry. Patrice and Lamar. Lamar tells Patrice after the painting that his quality time is painting. That he says the quality time is painting. She likes doing things out. She likes to be painting. She likes to move. And this fool here, I'm gonna call him fool, man. I don't even know, dude. I'm gonna be respectful. Bro was like, hey, I like all that, I understand, but I like touching, and I want to touch you. Can you keep your hands to yourself for being to kiss somebody or hug somebody? I understand it. There's a time and place for everything, right? But you have to move slowly in this situation. You can't be too overly aggressive. And I think that's what Lamar is. I think he might be a good dude. Don't know him, but I think he's being himself, but he's overly aggressive, and he's putting the women on. I want to say notice. He put an alarm. The antennas are up about Lamar, right? Even my wife, as she was sitting there watching, and Jack will just start joining me on these reviews, probably next week. She was like, "Who's this dude?" Like, I just wish he goes home. But I told her, look, he ain't going home this week because the women are in charge and the men are in charge. But he just was made people feel uncomfortable, right? It's uncomfortable. And Patrice tried to laugh. She tried to laugh it off, but you could tell that she was totally uncomfortable. She began to talk about God. You know, she like a God fear man. Lamar in this case, yeah, I like a God fear man too. But you know, let's continue to. We're just childish here. I mean, he said, yeah, I like God and I'm into God, but he felt like just jumping her bones, right? Like, come on, sir. Can you please stick to one thing? It is much more than just jumping her bones. Yes, she's a pretty woman. She's an attractive woman. She gives off some great energy. You're ready to jump her bones already at this painting place. Please. All right. I would see William and Vanessa. They were sitting there. They're talking about, they were talking about their children. They were talking about how to maneuver, how to let's just have a good date, right? How to maneuver, they would join each other's company. And Lamar interrupts William and Vanessa and pulls Vanessa away from William as they was having a great conversation. Now, Vanessa thought that this was the right moment and the right person. Now, do you remember Vanessa and Lamar's last conversation? It was when Lamar was talking about taking people out on a nude on the first date to a nude beach, right? This is the last time we saw them interact. Sis should have said, "Nah, I'm not feeling you." She should have said, "Nah, you know what? This is not what we want. No, you're not my type." Like the guys were cutting one. She should just cut him off because what she. And he's like, well, I was down to the bottom two last time. She said I was in the bottom two last time. What are why was I almost eliminated? And it was like because you reserved, like you ain't open up, and you're not open up. You're so like basically you stuck up. And we need you to let loose. We need you to let your hair down. We need you to be more flexible. We need you to be more concerning. We need you to be more open. All these things that he said, he kind of like, this is what I need you to be. He like yell, scream, and she couldn't yell. She couldn't scream. She wouldn't let loose. And he was like, nope, don't want to be. This is not the one I want. And he kind of dismissed her, like, hey, she couldn't do it. Patrice was talking to William, and they both had a great time. They talked about the diesel trucks they had. She talked about how she can back it in. They talked about their children. She talked about the good time. They like really had the vibe going and vibe flowing. Patrice and William, you can see that. Like I said earlier, William was working the room, right? William was playing the game, being in the contest. I can see William being around just a little while longer on this show. I know some people didn't like him from the very first episode, but I see William doing the right things, having great communication, opening doors, and making people feel trustworthy. And he's not talking about sex. He's talking about things that women want. He's talking about real things, right? He's having this discussions that make women feel comfortable. And I think that's why the women are going to like William, because he's not like the other people. He's not like the other ones that are on the show looking for just parties to have people to have sex with. That's what I'm thinking about. They're looking for people just to have sex with, right? We see LeBron goes out with Patrice. I mean, Patrice was the light of the party, right? You see where everything is going. Everybody's going out when she's beautiful, she's attractive. The tattoos, the lip, the piercings. She's doing something for everybody. They go out. She asked LeBron, what is quality time for you, right? He talked about doing, VR, having VR games and playing video games, going riding cars, riding go karts. I'm like, oh, that's kind of fun. She enjoys that stuff, right? Because she's the same one that says she like going out with Alonzo, go skating. Um, so they're having a good conversation. At first I'm like, this is kind of childish, but again, it's not childish. It's about what you have fun, right? I like playing. I like going to different activity parks and things like that. That's fun, right? So he wants to have fun. Um, now, bruh had this nice plate of catfish. I ain't gonna say hand lie. The catfish was banging. He must have been hungry because he paid more attention to the catfish than he did Patrice. And she was like, "Hold on for a minute, like, bruh, can you pay attention to me? Can you understand that the catfish was banging? You gotta realize, bruh, you're on a date. You're on a date. Pay attention to your person that you're with much more than the catfish. Catfish ain't going anywhere. She had some turkey necks. You can tell you down in South in Texas, right? She had some turkey necks, not no turkey legs, nothing else. She had turkey necks, right? People just eating turkey necks. Turkey necks is good, right? When it done right. But on a date, again, he's definitely on this date. He was definitely killing the vibe by just eating, and they didn't have the conversation was okay. Wasn't that great? Could have been better. Could have been better. We see April who goes on a date with Jonathan. Jonathan, invited April out on a date. April explained that her last relationship was her marriage, and she has some insecurities. April began she began to talk to Jonathan, right? She has some insecurities in her past relationship, and then she starts to bring up again Jonathan's marriage to his ex-wife. He starts to brings up past relationships. He said that he wants his relationship ended because he wasn't a good communicator, right? That he didn't communicate well. Then she brings up, hey, you remember last time we talked? You talked about you and your baby mama, your ex-wife. You and your ex-wife still kind of talking and being involved, and you think she wants to be with you. And he was like, why are we bringing that up? I've already explained this. Like, he's tired of it. And she kept doing it. She kept being pushy. Jonathan said, look, she's aggressive. And he didn't like the aggressiveness from April. April wanted to be in control of the situation. She wanted to be in control of the whole conversation with Jonathan. And Jonathan doesn't want a woman who is that aggressive. He said it, his words, not mine. He didn't say she was combative, just said she was aggressive. And her aggressiveness has turned a lot of the guys off. Then we see the guys who meet with Tommy. Tommy asks the guys, hey, who do you like, right? Who are you feeling? Jonathan said he is feeling Alexis. Will said he is feeling Vanessa. Dominique says he's really feeling Laylin. William, right? William says he like Maya and Patrice. Alonzo said he's feeling Patrice. Chad said he's feeling Patrice. Lamar said he likes Patrice. Laurent said he's feeling Koshia and Maya. Yeah, he the one said Koshia. Then Tommy asked him, hey, fellas, who are y'all not feeling? We had Lamar say he's not feeling April. William said he's not feeling April. John said he's not feeling April. Laurent said he's not feeling Patrice. Dominic said he's not feeling Patrice. Alonzo said he's not feeling Kashia. And Jonathan said he's not feeling Kashia. And Will said he's not feeling Kashia as well. So we can figure out who at the bottom two. You have April and Kashia at the bottom two. And then what we have here, this is where this bad boy gets really interesting. We have Alonzo who goes out with Koshia, and he's telling Koshia that he has to tell Koshia she is ready to love. Right? Well, I'm gonna skip to it. Koshia is ready to love. They have a conversation prior to this that happened on the night. So they was talking to each other on the phone, having conversation, going back and forth, involving with each other, having good conversation, asking each other questions. Then it comes up about choking and spanking. Which one do you prefer, choking or spanking? And she's like, I'm not answering that question. Like, this is a sexual conversation. You're turning a good conversation into something that's sexual. And I'm not dealing with it. I'm not doing it. I'm not being. She didn't want to answer it. And she didn't want to do it. She's like, that is ridiculous. You're talking about choking and spanking. Like, first of all, for a man to ask a woman, can I choke you? That's a problem. You ask a woman, is she into spanking? That's, well, you put your hand. That's just my opinion, right? My opinion. Put your hands on that. Like, who wants to choke somebody? Like, like choking somebody doing sex. Those questions are sexual. And he's tried to double down and say, bruh, he thought, no, they're just questions. There's nothing sexual to that. How are they not sexual? When you ask somebody, do they like to be choked or like to be spanked? The first thing that comes to somebody's mind is sex. It's a sexual connotation. And he just believed that it wasn't. No, I was not. And she said, I'm not going to sit here and have this conversation with you. After he says he dismisses her, after he tells her that she's not really loved, really didn't give her any key points of how the men want her to improve, how they want her to be more open, really didn't share too much with her. He brings it back around to the choking and spanking comment. She just hops up and leaves. She's like, I'm not doing this with this grown. Hey, man, we're not having this conversation. We're not going back and forth. We're not doing this at all. And she leaves and tells him to take the mic off of her. And Alonzo sits there and just eat. I believe it was totally disrespectful. We'll talk a little bit more about that. I think I might just do a side video on this whole dynamic between between Alonzo and Koshia, right? I thought it was rude, but nonetheless, let's move on. And then you see April and Lamar having a conversation. She felt like a little strange that Lamar's invited her out because again, when her and Lamar had their last conversation, he kind of dismissed her from the table. They wasn't doing too well. He goes back and forth and says the men think you are aggressive. They think you're coming off too strong. They think you're leading with, all right, your degrees, your accolades. Lamar goes off in the gentleman lounge. He talks about how she led off with all this, and bro was just straightforward. She gave me her whole resume. I'll hire her, but I'm not gonna date her. So he tells April, "You're not ready to love." She said, "I am ready to love," and blah blah blah, and she leaves. They got rid of her. Now, if you know what I made a post a little bit earlier this week on the channel talking about April, but Dr. April Butler, I really forgot who she was. I'm sorry, my post I made was completely wrong. LaRon went in on her, so that's why we got rid of you early. She's talking about the Sassy Six. I really forgot April, right? We didn't see much of her in the first episode where she was on, and then this episode we see her. She's really aggressive. She didn't cross my mind as much, and she is the second woman eliminated from Ready to Love. It's April. Dr. April. Dr. April's gone because she is too aggressive, and the men thought she came off strong. You guys let me know what you thought, man. Leave a comment in the comment section below. Do you think April came off too strong? Is Lamar too much? Will Lamar be the next man to go? Only time will tell. Hey, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you don't miss any of our reviews. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for rocking with us once again. If you watched all 26 minutes of this video, why not hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification? Thank you. I appreciate you, and we'll catch you down the road. Have a good night. Peace.